The fact is what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, again, showing the other side of me, that I've said all these different things, like I'm tired of you, or I want you, whether it was in this album or a previous album, and I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, that's not true, because the fact is I'm really still in love with you, yada yada yada. And you know, it's personal because I've been there. Like, you could tell yourself over and over, like, you done with something and you over something, but you know, then you feel like I still think about this idiot. Like, I'm so tired of I don't want to think about, like, so you're not over it. So now I'm saying that's the fact. Raheem and I did the song because we had talked about doing a duet for the last couple of years, and we were always missing each other in terms of timing. And I happened to be in Baltimore, D.C. working with Chucky Thompson on the album, and he's also worked with Chucky. So I happened to catch him, you know, right at the right time when he was in town, and he came through the studio and we just banged the song out that night. Like, came up with the song and finally, you know, got it on the record after the labels approved everything and did their thing. It happened. Because a lot of times it's that's what happens behind the scenes. I have a duet actually with Anthony Hamilton too that did make the album. And it really wasn't because we didn't do the song, it was just label stuff. And a lot of times people don't realize that too, that you can do duets with other artists and they're out there, but like if their labels don't approve it for whatever reason, like, you know, we're putting out an album, y'all gotta wait, or this and the third, it may not get on the record. I guess I would say that the difference between Warner, you could just, you know, Warner Brothers is definitely a big machine, but you can get lost, it's like, you know, in that machine, because the support really wasn't there. So it doesn't matter if you have this big fancy house, if it's not a home, like, you're not going to be happy. You know, it's just a big shell, a big old house, and that's what Warner Brothers was for. I was there like almost 7-8 years, and I was originally signed in early 2000. The record didn't come out, my first album didn't come out until 2005. So for 5 years, I kind of just was sitting around and going through different regimes. And then once the record came out, you know, we worked it as much as we could with me touring, but I never got like full support. And then I also had shady management, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. So they didn't do their part on certain things. So I had to switch up in a whole lot of areas. And last year I did a one-off deal with Shawnee Records. That's an indie label, and yeah, Shawnee is an indie label that I did a tribute album, and that was just to show homage to a lot of the other soul artists that in their day didn't really get their props, and just reintroduce their music. At the time I was working on that project, however, we had started conversations with Conquer Stax and doing a new deal with them, and so we closed that deal last summer and finished up the record, and now my soul is getting ready to come out. I worked with some of the same producers from the first album. Chucky Thompson worked on this album again, but then I also worked on some, I worked with some new producers, some new up-and-coming producers. Cadis and Sean, Gerard did the single Tell Me You Love Me. I worked with Ray and Rico out of Atlanta from the Outkast Dungeon Family crew. Carvin and Ivan out of Philly, they produced a lot of Jill Scott music, Soul Child, Faith Evans stuff. They were formerly Touch of Jazz. Then everybody branched off and did their own thing, so yeah. Hey, this is Leela James, and you're chilling on theurbandaily.com.